So at last we have the SH Figuarts version of Super Saiyan 4 Goku. At last we have our very first Dragon Ball GT figure introduced into the SH Figuarts line, and I couldn't be happier. Pretty stoked about this release. I've been anticipating this ever since it was first teased many years ago, and then they kind of dropped off. Never teased it again for a long time, and then they teased a new version, which was in the updated body mold, as we're going to get right here. So it was worth the wait, I would say, just looking at it through the packaging. So you can see here, it's standard release, which is also good. You can get them anywhere pretty much. So right now I got them from Japan, so I have them now. But if you wait another month, you'll be able to get them in the US with, online retailers such as Big Bad Toy Store and whatnot. So here we can see, got the Bandai Tamashii Nations logos. We have the beautiful original Dragon Ball GT logo. I just gotta zoom in on this one because it's the first time we're seeing it on an SH Figuarts figure, so that's very nice to see. That is the OG logo, not the Americanized version, the Funimation version. That's the original one, so pretty cool. Of course, we get the figure displayed through the window packaging, got the name on the side, and that's about it. The other side shows pretty much nothing. Here's some images on this side, which is pretty dope, and on the back side, we get the rest of the figure, displayed in various poses there. So let's go ahead and crack them open. Also, guys, let me know what you guys think of this lighting. I'm trying to go for a little bit lower, a lower exposure lighting. Let me know what you guys think. It's obviously a little different. The lights I used before were really big and bright, so I feel like the exposure was really high. But with this one, I can kind of adjust it. So let me know, is it too low or should it be a little bit more bright? I don't know. Just trying to try new things out. Next, I want to try to get a new mic too, so a lot of little changes will happen. Hopefully we'll improve the video, but let me know any feedback you guys might have. So here's the figure out of the box, looking pretty darn good, I must say. Now, this figure was made in Vietnam. Per the front of the box, lately SHF have been coming out of China and out of Vietnam, which was the newest, I guess, country where they're being made. They usually were originally all made in China, but now it looks like they have expanded out to Vietnam as well. The reason why I mentioned that is because figures that have been made in Vietnam, for SHF DBZ, I can only speak of DBZ, tend to have a little bit of a quality control issues. So a lot of people have been noticing that. I've been noticing that slight things, maybe the figure will be scratched out of the box or be dirty or something will be not right. The paint's not as high standard as it used to be or something. So I'm always worried whenever something comes out of Nam, baby. So hopefully they do improve. This is from Nam, so hopefully it turns out being good. But out of the box, I did notice a little bit of looseness on the head, so that concerns me. But other than that, I don't see anything else major on the figure, so that's good. So this is exactly how he comes out of the box. I don't have the tail attached to him because it does come separately attached. But he does seem to come with a lot of accessories, and just looking at it from the tray, you can see it's pretty much chock full of accessories here, which is pretty cool. We get a lot of hands, some face plates, get his tail, of course, and then we get a Kamehameha ball effect, which we've seen before. So we're getting it again with this figure. Alright, so here I have attached his tail onto the back side, of course, and pretty standard stuff here. It's a peg that has a hinge, so you can rotate it all the way around and hinge it as you wish. So a lot of possibilities with this tail. It's not like a bendy wire tail, so it's fixed in this pose, little S pose here, but you can move it around, which is good enough for me, so I do like that. There it is, looking pretty good. Alright, so at first he comes with the pair of fists that already come attached to the figure as you take them out of the box. Then we have open hands with a big old peg on the palm, and this is of course to grasp or hold on to his Kamehameha wave effect, which is something new because when they first introduced this Kamehameha wave powering up effect, there was never any hands with pegs like this, so you just kind of had to have it in his hands without the peg holes, but now it's more secure, and it won't fall down if you haven't posed with it for a long time. Right, and then we have what I like to call the martial arts posing hand here. So a pair of these looks cool. Then we get some wide open hands. And then these are wide open, but they're not super wide open like the previous ones I just showed. These have the The finger's kind of, curled up a little bit. So a little bit of a grabby hand here. And then lastly, for the hands, we get a pair of, I guess, instant transmission hands, you want to call these, but we get them on each side. So we normally only get one of these, like either the right hand or left hand, but this time we get them for both. So that's pretty cool. You have the option of either, putting it on his left or right side of the head. I'm sure I can get this done if I tried. But you can go that way or you can go this way, whichever way you want for the instant, transmission or whatever he does. And there you go, something like that. So it could definitely be accomplished from either side. His hair is so massive, and he got this big old bang that casts such a heavy shadow on his face. Does you have direct light hitting it like that? Now he also comes with 3 extra face plates, and the way you swap them out is the front piece hair slides right off, and then the faceplate slides right off like that. Then you take the new faceplate, and you can see it has got a peg hole, and there's a peg there, and then you peg that in, and then you put the hair piece back on. I must say though, the front bang hair piece is not a tight fit. It comes off super easy, like it doesn't take much, and I do not like that at all. It needs to be tighter than that. I feel like that's gonna like fall off or loosen over time to the point where it'll really just fall off without even, even trying, I guess you can say. So hopefully that's not the case, but it's just very, very loose. Actually, when I took him out the package, his hair was kind of already off, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, just showing you how to swap out faces. There's the other face I just put on him, and it's a smiling, smirking face, which looks really good too. Alright, he looks weird because I took the bangs off, but I just want to show you the side view because his nose kind of catches my attention here. It seems like it's a little on the long side. I don't know, you guys tell me. Here's the previous faceplate. I feel like it's super pointy, like super long. But you guys let me know. Let me put his hair back on and see if it looks a little bit normal with that. So there's the side portrait or view. I don't know. It's not a big deal because if you look at him from the front, you're not going to notice, but from the side, it's got a little rat nose going on there. Alright, up next we have this face, which is really cool. I like this. He's kind of looking to the side. You see his pupils there. And he's got the teeth showing. Very upset at Omega Shenron, possibly. Looking really dope. Like this one. And then possibly the best one of them all, we have the yelling face sculpt. Look at that, man. They did such a great job with this one. Looks really, really good. Look at that. So overall, I love the faceplate choices. You can get a lot of variety, a lot of option, a lot of fun out of these for sure. Alright, and of course with the Kamehameha Wave ball effect, if you have any of the previous Gokus that came with it, it's the same exact. I guess it could be a little different. It seems like it's a little different, but it's the same concept here. It's the same, design where you peg in according to the shape of the peg. They're all different, and you peg it into the sphere here. Alright, so this is definitely a new design. I can already tell just by putting it together. But it's cool. I like it. You can see the last peg hole there is for the, the peg on the hand that I showed earlier. So this is what it's supposed to do. You peg the hand in there, and there you go. So you got him, shooting the effect out of his hand. I actually like this design better because this way you can get him either shooting a one-handed blast or, the Kamehameha Wave with both hands. So like something like this maybe, that could be something he does. Or of course what it's actually meant for, the actual Kamehameha Wave where you get both hands there. But I think this is a cool effect for sure. Definitely a nice updated effect. Alright, so now that we've gotten through all the accessories, I feel like that was a long kind of segment, but I really went through them, one by one, and on the figure itself. So hopefully that, came out nice. So if you're still with me here, let's take a closer look at the figure. And first and foremost, the figure looks great. It's definitely worth the wait after all these years. Finally, we're getting a Super Saiyan 4 Goku. This is it. This is going to be our definitive Super Saiyan 4 Goku figure for probably ever, unless they ever remake him, once again for SH Figuarts. But he does look good. He looks good. Look at him. Looks really, really good. As for the figure itself, I do wish he was a little bit tighter with the joints. I did mention earlier the head is the major issue with mine, at least. It's a little loose. And I think a lot of this hair here, adds a lot of weight, of course, but it also helps the looseness not seem so loose, if that makes sense. Because definitely if I move him around, I mean, it's not, it's not the worst that I've seen for sure. It's definitely not the worst of all time. It's very, I guess, marginal, I should say, or, you know, in the middle, in between, I guess. But like I said, I feel like these big old strands of hair, it goes all the way to the back, it helps it, because if this was short hair, the head would seem a lot looser than what it is. The hair is kind of like helping it stay put, if that makes sense. But it's not super loose, but it's definitely got some looseness. I do rather prefer squeaky joints, so tight that it squeaks, rather than loose joints, So it's nothing that is fatal to the figure, or, making the figure terrible. Definitely not. But overall, I do wish the entire upper torso, from the waist up, was a little bit tighter. It's a little bit too loose for my liking at the torso. It will hold its own, so it's not, like I said, it's not extreme. I know I'm trying to emphasize that because I don't want you guys to think that it's super loose, but it's got some looseness there, and I should mention it. So definitely wish it was a little tighter, even the leg a little bit. I mean, it's nothing serious, but you see, something as small as that, I do notice, I do pick up on that. It just makes me think about the longevity, if it's going to stay like that, or if it's going to get looser over time. Even the tail is super easy to move around. It's not as tight as I wish it was. It'll still hold its own, of course, that's the most important part. But just things I notice as I move around, because what is this going to be like in 10 years, in 5 years, or even 2 years? Is it going to just droop down by itself? Or is it still going to hold its own, Definitely the questions I ask when I handle figures like this. I just feel, I move him around. It's very easy to move the joints. That's where I'm getting at. Even like here, you see how easy that is? I feel like that should be more resistance, or resistant. Definitely feel like that. But overall, aside from that, the figure is fantastic. I'm very happy with it. If I could change one thing, it would be that. Just tighten up the joints a little bit, guys. This did come from Vietnam. I guess it doesn't matter if it came from Vietnam or China on the joint aspect, because Birder and Cooler both came from Vietnam, and those are fine with the joints. Those are actually really tight. So, yeah. Alright, so the color of the red to me seemed like it was a little bit bright, almost pinkish in some photos. But that's actually how he was colored or drawn. If you look at pictures of him, he has a light, kind of neonish, brightish, pinkish, reddish fur. I always felt like it should be darker. I do like a darker blood red over this kind of pinkish red, and especially now with the light hitting it, it's going to seem a lot brighter than it really is. When you get him in hand, it's a lot better for sure. But if I had to choose, I would go with a little bit darker red. Like I said, he is actually colored in this color for the most part. I did find some images of Super Saiyan 4 Goku with a darker red. Now, I don't know if those were just like colored that way by a fan, but there is an image from the actual show, like a screenshot showing this kind of similar color to this figure. So this could be accurate, despite the fact that I do wish it was a darker red. It's also worth noting that the yellow, or yeah, I guess that's a yellow, right? It's a mixed yellow, greenish, brownish color pants. It's actually painted, like fully painted on the leg sculpt. It's not just the plastic color. They actually painted that color on there, which is something I haven't seen since the early days of SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z. That's nice to see, Very cool. Down to the feet, looking good. And there's the side, and then here is the back. And if I didn't really show the back side of the hair, here it is. We actually get hinged, ball jointed hinged back pieces for the hair. So that definitely, articulates there. If you want him looking up, it's not going to get in the way. If you want him looking down, you can, put that down, and that looks a little bit more natural. So very nice job there. And here, when I get the hair up, you'll really see what I mean about the joints here, at least for the neck. Let's get that focused there. So check this out. You see what I mean? That's a little too loose for my liking. And then, yeah, look at that. But when the hair is down, it's not that bad, because look, obviously it's hindering it from moving, so it doesn't seem like it's loose, right? So that's what I meant by the hair kind of helping it a little bit seem like it's not really loose when it really is. And then these two side little, I guess, pigtails or whatever you want to call these. They're not really pigtails, but these side pieces of hair are actually on a ball jointed hinge as well. So that moves around. So you can pose it, I guess, inward like that. Or you can pose it outward, a little bit more out. This also helps for if you're training the head, that doesn't get hindered. So I like that design on the hair overall. Good job on the design of the hair. This is a big hair piece that would definitely hinder articulation of the head, but I think Tamashii Nations did the absolute best for this figure, and it works so good. So good job on the articulation for the hair. Just a tad bit closer look at him so you can kind of pick up on the texture and details of the hair. The face paint is so good, very nicely done. And then you can see the torso and the texture on the fur itself. And then there's the painted chest. Down to the legs. Good and brand new sculpt. Overall, it's a whole new figure. And here's the back. They even sculpted a little rip on the pants where the tail rips through it. So that's cool. Alright, so you guys got a pretty good idea of the articulation for the hair. So, of course, the head, because of the hair, will move left and right. It'll look all the way up, and it'll look all the way down. Now, keep in mind, when you move the head around a lot, the face is going to get, like, super loose, too. So, that's annoying, but you just got to push it back in, you know. Push it back in, and then it's going to be fine. So there's the head. You could also see the neck as a separate piece as well. So that's going to help with the head movement, looking up and down, side to side. We get some very nice butterfly joints and even have sculpted, you know, skin tone and fur parts for that butterfly joint there. So that allows the arm to go across his chest, goes out to the point where it kind of leaves a little gap there. So it gets a little ugly if you go too far. And then we get the socket joint for the shoulder, goes in and out for the whole arm. We have the bicep swivel. We have the double jointed elbows. Then we get a rest on that ball jointed hinge that swivels and hinges, of course. Diaphragm joint on the torso. Pretty good range overall. So it goes all the way back and forward, side to side tilt. And there is also a waist swivel underneath this belt. Legs are going to kick forward all the way. Go back down. They go, let's get the arm back up. They go in and out this far. Go back down. Then we have a thigh swivel. Double jointed knees, check that out. Pretty much kicks himself on his back there. Back up, then we have the hinge on the ankle. There's a rocker, there's a swivel, and then there's a toe hinge at the foot. Alright, so at the end of the day, the only issue this figure really has is the kinda loose joints. And maybe the pinkish fur that should be a little bit, or at least my preference would be a little bit darker red. Even though this is kind of accurate, so if that even counts, maybe doesn't really count. So let's just say the loose joints is the only issue with the figure. Other than that, I'm so happy with the release. It looks great. It's a phenomenal sculpt. But if you need more convincing, this is the only other figure on the market for Super Saiyan 4 Goku. This abomination of a figure, now compared next to the SH Figuarts release. This is the Dragon Star's domestic release. Let's get him to the side. Let's get him here, get him more centered. And check that out. Now here, this figure really does have the red that I kind of would like Super Saiyan 4 Goku to have. At least it looks better. The red color, since it's darker. But look at this, man. Look at the difference here. Obviously, price difference, yes, $20 versus what? 50, 60? Man, I'll spend the extra $30. Why not? Look what you're getting. And look at all the accessories. Look at the faceplates and look at the effect piece. You don't get that with the $21, $25 now because of inflation release over here for the Dragon Stars version. And man, what a difference. Obviously, this is no contest. This was to be expected. Really no surprise here, but just puts it into a good picture in your mind and visually right here for your eyes to see that, yeah, super big difference. And if you were to grab this one, I mean, he's got loose joints too. I mean, worse than the SH Figuarts version. So what the heck am I doing complaining about that, right? When this figure has this. Oh, I would be so upset if this SH Figuarts version had that issue. and he doesn't. So that's something I should be grateful for. Definitely am. But doesn't mean I can't sit here and say, hey, make it a little bit tighter so it can, withstand the test of time. And let me just show you a little close shot at the face sculpts here. Pretty much the same expression on both figures, but wow. Alright, let's go ahead and get this nasty thing out of here. Alright, so up next, I'm going to put it next to the event exclusive Super Saiyan God Kaioken Goku figure. So we'll take a look at that. Going way back to the second release of the entire SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z series, this is Super Saiyan Goku, original figure. I think it was the second figure released in the line, right behind Piccolo. That's a fun fact. Piccolo was the first figure ever released in the Dragon Ball Z line. Not Goku, but Piccolo. Here is the most recent Dragon Ball figure release for SH Figuarts, and this is the Namek Boma. Looking good. And standing next to what is, without a doubt, my favorite figure release of 2021, or at least up there, I should say. Not, I don't know, I haven't done my top 10 yet, but definitely up there in the list. Cooler. My goodness, this figure is near perfection. And next to another figure, which is of course the figure we're reviewing today, Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And I can say right now he'll probably be up there in my list as well. So two of the best figures of the year, without a doubt, right here. Guys, I think that's going to do it. That's going to wrap things up on this review of the SH Figuarts, the first ever Dragon Ball GT figure for SH Figuarts. We have Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Man, bring on Vegeta, please. Bring on Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Bring on Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I really strongly think we're going to get those for sure. Those are kind of pretty much set in stone, I would say. The only thing that worries me is if we're going to get anything else beyond these big three. Obviously, when you go into Dragon Ball GT, it's kind of, you either you hate it or you love it. Fans definitely do love the Dragon Ball GT Super Saiyan 4 form, so this is no surprise that that's where they started. With when it comes to SH Figuarts, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Because I'm personally a fan of Dragon Ball GT. I never disliked it or hated it. It's officially not canon as of yet, but it could definitely still be canon if Akira Toriyama ever chooses to, because the events of GT still kind of takes place after Super. Pan has definitely grown in Dragon Ball GT, and Pan is still in Videl's stomach, I think, in Dragon Ball Super, or just born. I can't remember, but I know she's not grown. So, and definitely in Dragon Ball GT, Trunks was like a teenager, growing up, or at least a young adult, and he's still a kid in Dragon Ball Super. So, if they ever choose to, they could definitely do that. And I think if he ever does creep towards Dragon Ball GT, I think he would definitely change it. But I really do hope he keeps the Super Saiyan 4, transformations, which I think everyone would agree with that. But I personally do hope that Bandai Tamashii keeps going with Dragon Ball GT. I want to see Omega Shenron, especially with that third-party company that made it and people bought the heck out of it. They're seeing that, and they definitely know people want it. I think we could definitely have a successful release of a Omega Shenron. So hopefully they're keeping an eye on that. And Nova Shenron and Vegeta with the short hair and Trunks from that timeline, that GT timeline, and Pan, and man, I could go on and on. Hopefully this does well. I think it does. I supported the heck out of it for sure. I bought a whole bunch of Super Saiyan 4 Gokus just to support it, just to show them that Dragon Ball GT is something that they can make money on for sure. I think it's pretty obvious that it's going to do well because, I mean, where can you find this guy in stock? He was sold out for a long time, and I don't think he's in stock right now. So people definitely want him. The demand is there. And yeah, all I can say is I hope they continue it because they definitely did an amazing job with this Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And I'm so stoked about Dragon Ball GT coming into SH Figuarts. That's going to do it. Thanks. Hopefully you stayed for that little rant at the end. If you cut off early, well, you obviously won't be hearing me say this, but I appreciate you guys watching the video. Comment down below your thoughts. Leave a like if you like the video. And if you dislike the video, make sure you hit the dislike button twice. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And as always, take care, take it easy, and I'll catch you on the next one.